Have you ever wondered why some men seem to have a natural magnetism that attracts sophisticated and mature women without any apparent effort? They don't fall for cheap games. They aren't impressed by empty displays of wealth. They're looking for something deeper, something most men don't even know exists. What if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that can transform you into exactly the kind of man they're looking for? A philosophy that great Roman emperors used to rule the world and that you can now use to rule your own life? Get ready, because in the next few minutes you'll discover how Stoic philosophy can make you absolutely irresistible in just 30 days. And no, it's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Stop for a second and think. How many times have you felt lost in a conversation with an interesting woman? How many times has anxiety taken over and you've simply frozen? How many opportunities have you let slip by because you lacked the necessary confidence? Mature women, the ones who are truly worthwhile, they sense this instantly. They perceive your insecurity before you even open your mouth. But calm down. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to show you the way. A path that men like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca walked 2,000 years ago, and that continues to be the secret of the most magnetic men on the planet. What I'm going to share with you isn't cheap self-help theory. It's pure practice. These are 5 fundamental Stoic attitudes that will completely reprogram the way you think and act. And the best part, you can start applying them today. You don't need an expensive gym membership. You don't need designer clothes. You don't need to pretend to be rich. You just need to be willing to dive deep into yourself and emerge as a transformed man. First, let's talk about inner strength. You know that guy who never loses his cool, who even in the most tense situations manages to maintain his composure. That's the power of Stoic emotional self-control. It's not about suppressing your emotions like a robot. It's about understanding them, accepting them, and consciously choosing how to respond. Imagine yourself in a social situation. Someone makes a provocative comment. Your blood boils. The impulse is to react, to retaliate, to show who's boss. But the Stoic man does something different. He stops. He breathes. He observes the emotion arising within him as if he were watching a movie. He feels the anger, acknowledges it, but doesn't let it take control. I'll tell you a true story. There was a guy, let's call him John. John was one of those guys who would explode over anything. All it took was someone cutting him off in traffic, and he'd be honking and yelling. One day, at a party, an amazing woman accidentally spilled wine on his shirt. The old John would have made a scene, but he had started practicing Stoicism 2 weeks prior. Instead of freaking out, he took a deep breath, smiled, and calmly said that accidents happen. Do you know what happened? She was so impressed by his reaction that they spent the whole night talking. Today they've been together for 3 years. This technique has a name. It's called the inner observer. It's as if you create a part of yourself that stands outside, observing your reactions without getting carried away by them. In the beginning, it's difficult, very difficult. Your brain is programmed to react instantly, but with daily practice, something magical happens. You begin to have this delay between stimulus and response, and in that small space of time, you choose who you want to be. Mature women perceive this immediately. They've been through a lot in life. They've dealt with explosive, insecure, reactive men. When they find a man who remains calm in the midst of chaos, who responds with wisdom instead of impulse, they feel a deep attraction. It's not a superficial attraction. It's an attraction to stability, maturity, and presence. But calm down. This is just the beginning. Because it's no use being calm if you don't have direction in life. And that's where the second fundamental Stoic attitude comes in: unwavering purpose. Do you know what the biggest complaint women have about men today is? That they don't know what they want. That they drift aimlessly, without direction, without real ambition. And I'm not talking about having an imported car or a luxury apartment. I'm talking about having a purpose that drives you, a reason to wake up in the morning that goes beyond the paycheck at the end of the month. The Stoics called this eudaimonia. It's more than happiness. It's human flourishing. It's living in accordance with your deepest values. It's having a mission that defines you. It could be building a business that helps people. It could be becoming the best father in the world. It could be mastering an art or skill. The important thing is that it's authentic, that it comes from within, that it makes your eyes shine when you talk about it. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you stopped to think about what really matters to you? Not what your parents want, not what society expects, but what makes your heart race. Most men never do this reflection. They live on autopilot, following the script someone wrote for them. Work, home, television, sleep, repeat. It's no wonder they seem dead inside. The exercise I'm going to give you now can change your life. Get a notebook. Yes, right now. Pause the video if you need to. Right at the top of the page, my personal manifesto. Start writing what you believe, what you value, what you want to build in the world. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be true. At first, it will seem forced. The words won't flow. Normal. Deep. Writing, scribble, erase, rewrite. Gradually, something will begin to emerge, a vision, a purpose, something that is uniquely yours. When you have this north, this internal compass, something magical happens. You stop seeking external validation. You stop worrying about whether people like you, because you know who you are and where you're going. And that, my friend, is irresistible. Women feel this energy from miles away. It's like a magnetic field around you. They want to be part of your journey. They want to be co-authors of your story. But here comes the challenge. When you start living with purpose, when you start to stand out, criticism appears. The envious emerge, those who want to pull you back to mediocrity. And that's where the third Stoic attitude comes in, selective indifference. It's not about being arrogant. It's not about ignoring constructive feedback. It's about knowing how to filter what matters from what is just noise. Imagine you're presenting a new idea at work. You've studied, you've prepared. You believe in what you're proposing. But as soon as you finish, the criticism begins. Some constructive, others clearly driven by envy or insecurity. The average man gets discouraged. He questions everything. He loses confidence. The Stoic man does it differently. He listens to everything attentively. He separates the wheat from the chaff. He absorbs what can improve and discards the rest without resentment. There's a powerful technique for this. It's called the circle of influence. Imagine two circles. In the inner circle is everything you can control. Your actions, your words, your choices, your effort. In the outer circle is everything that is beyond your control. The opinions of others, the weather, the economy, the past. Most people spend an absurd amount of energy worrying about the outer circle, complaining, lamenting, blaming. The Stoic focuses all his energy on the inner circle, where he can truly make a difference. I'll tell you about John. John was always one of those guys who worried about what others thought. He wouldn't post a picture without thinking about the likes. He wouldn't give an opinion without calculating the reactions. He lived in an invisible prison. Until he discovered Stoicism, he started small. In a meeting with friends, he gave his honest opinion about a movie, even knowing it went against the majority. Some laughed, others disagreed. But an incredible thing happened. A woman who was there, older, more experienced, approached him afterward and said she admired men with their own opinions, that she was tired of men who only said what she wanted to hear. Do you see the paradox? The less you care about pleasing, the more attractive you become. But be careful. It's not about being a jerk. It's not about disrespecting anyone. It's simply about being authentic. It's about having the courage to be yourself with your opinions, your values, your peculiarities. Mature women have been through too many men trying to impress them with false personas. When they find someone genuine, it's like a breath of fresh air. And here I want to make an important pause. If you're finding these ideas powerful, if you're feeling that something is changing within you, do yourself a favor. Like this video. Share it with that friend of yours who needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Because what comes next is even more transformative. The fourth Stoic attitude is perhaps the most challenging, deep self-knowledge. Socrates already said, "Know thyself." But how many really do that? How many have the courage to look in the mirror of the soul and face their shadows? Most people run away from themselves. Alcohol, drugs, empty sex, excessive work, all to avoid having to face who they really are. Stoicism invites you on a different journey, a journey inward. To know your strengths and weaknesses, your fears and desires, your lights and shadows, not to judge yourself, but to accept yourself and from there, transform yourself. It's a process that can be painful, but it's also liberating. There's an exercise that changed my life. Every night before going to bed, I take my journal of serenity and write 3 questions. What did I do well today? What could I have done better? What did I learn? Simple as that. But the impact is profound. Gradually, you begin to notice patterns, repetitive behaviors, emotional triggers, and with this awareness comes the power of change. Remember John that I mentioned before? After he started this exercise, he discovered something revealing. He realized that his explosiveness came from a deep need to feel respected. Difficult childhood, absent father, you know how it is. But by acknowledging this without judgment, just observing, something changed. He stopped taking everything personally. He understood that most people are fighting their own battles. Compassion replaced anger. Mature women have a radar for authenticity. They know when a man is pretending, when he's playing a role. But when they find someone who knows himself deeply, who is not afraid of his own vulnerabilities, they feel safe. Because they know that this man will not project his insecurities onto them. He won't try to control them to feel better. He will be a real partner. And that brings us to the 5th and final attitude, decisive and calm action. It's no use having all this knowledge if you don't act. Stoicism is not armchair philosophy. It's arena philosophy. It's about taking everything you've learned and applying it to the real world, with courage, with determination, but also with serenity. Do you know what the mistake of most people is? Either they are paralyzed by fear, or they act impulsively and uncontrollably. The Stoic finds the middle ground. He acts with purpose but without haste, with strength but without violence, with determination but without despair. He is like a river that flows constantly towards the sea. Nothing stops him, but he doesn't need to agitate. I'll give you a practical example. You're at a party. You see an interesting woman across the room. Mature, elegant, clearly someone who doesn't fall. For any cheesy lines, the average guy either stares from afar all night or approaches her with corny pickup lines. The Stoic man does it differently. He takes a deep breath. He remembers his purpose. He accesses his inner calm, and he simply walks over to her. Without haste, without anxiety, present in the moment. The conversation flows naturally, not because he memorized seduction techniques, but because he is genuinely interested in getting to know another human being. He asks profound questions. He really listens. He shares his own experiences without trying to impress. And when he feels it's the moment, he acts. He invites her for coffee. He suggests a date, no games, no manipulation, just 2 adults connecting. Mike was one of those guys who overthought everything. He analyzed every word, every gesture, every possibility. Result? He never acted. Opportunities passed, while he remained trapped in his own mind. Stoicism changed that. He learned that perfection is the enemy of progress, that it's better to act imperfectly than not to act at all. Today he's known as the guy who makes things happen, at work, in relationships, in life. And here's the final secret. Attraction isn't about what you do. It's about who you are. When you develop these 5 Stoic attitudes, when you become a man of self-control, purpose, resilience, self-knowledge and action, you no longer need to worry about being attractive. You simply are. It's like the sun. It doesn't try to shine. It just shines. And everything around it is naturally attracted to its light and warmth. Mature women are looking for exactly that. A man who is a safe harbor in the midst of the storm. Someone with whom they can be themselves. Someone who challenges them intellectually but welcomes them emotionally. Someone who has depth, substance, presence. And that's exactly what Stoicism offers you. But let me be brutally honest with you. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes 30 days of consistent practice. 30 days of observing your emotions without getting carried away by them. 30 days of clarifying your purpose and acting in accordance with it. 30 days of filtering criticism and maintaining focus. 30 days of knowing yourself deeply. 30 days of decisive and calm action. Does it seem like a lot? Think of it this way. Those 30 days will pass anyway. The question is, will you continue to be the same insecure and reactive man as always? Or will you emerge transformed? The choice is yours, it always has been. Stoicism just gives you the tools. It's up to you to use them. And don't think this is just about attracting women. This transformation impacts all areas of your life. At work, you become the professional everyone respects. Calm under pressure, decisive in action, principled in values. With friends, you become the one everyone trusts. The one who gives wise advice, who is truly present. With family, you become the pillar of strength and stability. But yes, with women, especially mature ones, the change is radical. They begin to see you with different eyes, no longer as just another man trying to impress, but as someone rare, someone worth getting to know deeply, someone with whom to build something real. Mark was always handsome, gym, style, the whole package, but he couldn't maintain a relationship. Women were interested at first, but soon lost interest. Why? Because behind the facade, there was no substance. It was like a beautiful house on the outside, but empty inside. Stoicism changed that. It gave him depth, purpose, presence. Today, he's in a 5-year relationship with an amazing woman, 10 years older, successful, mature. He says what attracted her was his calmness, his authenticity, his presence. And this can be your story too. It doesn't matter where you are now, whether you're shy or extroverted, rich or poor, handsome or ordinary. Stoicism is the great equalizer because it works. From the inside out, it transforms your essence. And when your essence changes, everything around you changes too. So here's my final challenge for you. Start today, not tomorrow, not Monday, today. Choose one of the 5 attitudes and practice it. It could be observing your emotions for 5 minutes. It could be writing a line of your personal manifesto. It could be ignoring unnecessary criticism. It could be writing in your journal of serenity before bed. It could be acting on something you've been putting off. The important thing is to start. Because every journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and that step can be taken now, at this very moment. While motivation is high, while the vision is clear, don't let this moment pass. Don't be another one who watches the video, gets excited and does nothing. Be different, be stoic, be the man you were born to be. The women you want to attract are waiting for that man, not for the character you play, not for the mask you wear, but for the real, authentic, deep man that exists within you. Stoicism is just the key to freeing him. And remember, this isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming present and powerful. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. It's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's not about impressing. It's about connecting. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions. The path is laid out, the tools are available, the examples have been given. Now it's up to you. Will you continue to be a victim of circumstances, or will you become the author of your own story? Will you continue to react to the world, or will you begin to create it? Will you continue to wait for the woman of your dreams to appear, or will you become the man of her dreams? Stoicism offers you more than attraction techniques. It offers you a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. A life where you wake up with energy, act with purpose, and sleep with a clear conscience. A life where relationships are deep and authentic, where work has meaning, where every day is an opportunity for growth. Imagine 30 days from now. You're in a conversation with a fascinating woman. She looks you in the eyes and sees depth. She feels your presence. She admires your calmness. She respects your authenticity. She feels safe with your strength. And naturally, almost inevitably, she feels attracted, not because you did something special, but because you became someone special. That future is within your reach, closer than you think. 30 days of consistent practice, 30 days of internal transformation, 30 days to become irresistible, not just to women, but to life. Because when you become the best version of yourself, the universe conspires in your favor. So get up, turn off the distractions, get your notebook, and begin your stoic journey. The man you can become is waiting. The experiences you can live are available. The women you can attract are out there. It all depends on one thing: your decision to act. Now, Stoicism is not an empty promise. It's a philosophy tested for 2,000 years by emperors and slaves, by warriors and philosophers, by men who changed the world, and now by you. Welcome to the brotherhood of Stoic men. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to the irresistible man who has always existed within you. The journey begins now, and I'll be here, cheering you on every step of the way. Because when a man awakens to his potential, the whole world benefits, including the lucky women who cross his path. Remember always, true attraction isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about becoming a man of real value, a man that any intelligent woman would recognize as a rare find. And with Stoicism as your guide, that man is about to emerge. Strong, calm, purposeful, authentic, and irresistible. That's you in 30 days if you choose to start today.